They say that you can please all of the people some of the time and some of the people all of the time, but not all the people all of the time. Which is a fair point, but here at Max Corner we're going to try. This is going to be a 100% serious Let's Play of Starship Corporation. Not going to be any jokes, no attempts to provide entertaining commentary, just going to do a straight up Let's Play. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more laid back and entertaining, at least my attempt at being entertaining, there is another Let's Play that's going to be pretty much identical to this, just a little bit lighter commentary. So for those of you who want a serious look at Starship Corporation, and I'm not saying the last one wasn't, but you know, a full-on serious look, here we go. So what is the name of your company? We'll still call it Max Core. So here is the company's current financial situation and the 3 scenarios. The one we're going to pick is the corporation has grown a lot by the very wise decisions of the past management during the war. We have substantial reserves to rely on for our coming investments. Starting funds 100,000 credits versus 40 or 25. You can read these scenarios. We're going to click that one because there's no need to constrain ourselves for this Let's Play. And then, what's your prediction of where the market is developing? The solar system has recovered well, and the markets could not be better. Business is thriving, people are excited about space exploration, and creditors are very interested in taking part in the boom. So our credit limit, how much we can borrow, once again, 100,000 versus 10,000 or 1,000. And you can read these 2 scenarios. And we'll select this one. Once again, no need to constrain ourselves. And I know from past experience that liquidity is the key to stability. I will make sure that this company will be the most valuable in the entire galaxy. Winning condition, accumulation of 10 million credits. So this is essentially the in-game, in-state, how you win the game. You can also do fully unlocking technology or the Trans-Orion Racer, which is the reputation of a company is key to its longevity even in difficult times. I consider my greatest success to be the first to produce a winning ship for the Trans-Orion race. So those are the 3 victory conditions. None of them are relevant right now to this playthrough. Once again, this is an alpha build if you weren't tracking already, so there's obviously a lot of things missing. I do want to support the dev team. They look like a very wonderful dev team, and they're creating a game with a large amount of potential, and I want to show a first look for anybody who might be interested. So what we're looking at right now is the galaxy map. As you can already see, they only have 1 solar system. This is new from my original Let's Play that I did a while back. And what they have here is the infrastructure for creating a more in-depth system. So it doesn't seem like much perhaps, but if you look at where they were and where they're at, they've come a long way in only about a month and a half. And they've got the hardest part done, it looks like, which is just getting the foundation and all the engine's the wrong word, but the ability to add more to it. So right now, all we can visit is the solar system, ABDAB. In order to do anything, we first need to create an office. So we'll click on it, and we'll create an office. Now that we have an office, we can look over here and view our objectives. Which right now, win condition, accumulation of 10 million, that's what we selected in the beginning. Starting funds, credit limit, so we could borrow basically double our money, but with half of that being credit. Ratings, finances. This is due to purchasing this station. And then events, we have no events oncoming. Obviously, this will probably be more involved and in-depth as the game goes on. Alright, there you can see where we do the speed and all that kind of stuff. All these company, faction, type, our filters here, company, faction, type are all empty because we don't have anything to fill them in with. Moving on to the market. This is just an example of what the market looks like. So you can design your ships based off of what they have presented here. It looks like you can purchase designs from different companies instead of designing your own, is my assumption. It doesn't specifically say. And down here we also have ships that you can just flat out buy, it looks like. Next is the ship design, which we will go over the tutorial in detail momentarily. This module was the original module completed and the focus of the original video. Crew management, similar. It was in the original video, and we'll go over that more in detail shortly. Here is the shipyard. So these are the ships you can build based off designs you have available. These are contracts. It doesn't specify if it's contracts for you to build. I'd imagine it's another company saying we want this kind of ship and you can build it. Or it could be because this is what you have built it. I don't know. And these could be design contracts, i.e. they want you to design a type of ship that can do X, Y, Z. That's speculative on my part. Here we have the technology tree. As you can see, it goes down and to the right. They have done a lot with the technology tree. There's a lot more detail showing the specifics of what each of these items do and how they're going to help. It's a fairly involved technology tree. I'm sure it's not set in stone and will be changed over time with probably things, as you can see, mining, there's no technology. I'm sure a lot of things will be added to the technology tree. Here's what's currently available. And your strategy towards going down the technology tree, I'm sure, is going to be a big part of how you progress throughout the game. That is pretty much all of the additions to the game. The big one is the sandbox mode has been added, though there isn't still much to do with it. And once again, this is a very early alpha build, which I have purchased as early access to support the dev team and the developers, because I see a lot of potential in this game. Now, we are going to proceed back to the main menu and to the tutorials. For this Let's Play video, we're going to focus on the ship design tutorial. Later tutorials will come in the future as the systems are more fleshed out.
Tutorial. Please use the next button to start.
Alright, so we got a new design and next button on the tutorial.
In this screen, you can determine which contract you're working on and which fuselage to use. You can either click on Load to start with a pre-existing design, or start a completely new blueprint, which we're going to do now.
So we're essentially going to make a new ship from scratch based off the tutorial.
You can choose the goals for this ship design by switching between Contract, Custom, and None. Please select Contract now.
It's already selected for us.
Select Design Tutorial Contract from the list of contracts. Below the contract list, you'll see the most important requirements of the selected contract. On the right half of the screen, you can select from a list of fuselages. Currently, only Little Bug has been researched, so please select it. You can see a short description and basic information about the fuselage just below. Please click on Start Design in the lower right corner to enter Ship Design. In the upper left area, you'll find the Mission Progress panel. Here you can monitor how good your ship is rated. You can minimize this window by clicking on one of the arrows on the right side. In the upper right corner, you can see the Objectives panel. Here you can see the construction goals and information about your current ship design. You can minimize this window with the arrow on the bottom right. In the upper right corner of the Objectives panel, you can click on Change Contract to select a different contract. This way you can browse through all available contracts to see if their objectives are a fit for the current ship. At the top, you'll find the message bar. Click on the arrow at the bottom right to minimize or maximize the window. You can use this list to help you keep track of what you still need to build a fully functioning ship. At the bottom left is your ship's deck layout. You can switch between decks by clicking on the appropriate deck in the ship graphic. You can also change decks by using the page up and page down keys or the number keys 1 and 2. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the Build menu. Please click on the Small Bridge from the Core Modules panel. You can rotate the selected room by clicking the right mouse button. You can place it anywhere by clicking the left mouse button. When a room is selected, you can return to the Build menu by pressing the Space key or by clicking on the Build menu icon. Click and hold the left mouse button over the built room until it attaches to your mouse cursor, then left-click again to build it in a different spot. Delete the bridge by clicking on it with the right mouse button or hitting the delete key when the room is selected. You can undo any deletion or creation by pressing Z. Please place the bridge at the marked location on deck B2 to be able to continue the tutorial. You're only able to build one bridge. Move or delete the one previously built. Change the deck by using the page up or the number 2 key. When a room is selected, you'll see all of its requirements in the bottom right corner. You'll notice that the crew count in the objectives panel has been updated. This tells you that you now need 2 pilots to operate the bridge. Please build a standard computer now. You'll find it under Core Modules. It's preferable to build it close to the bridge because you'll need a pilot to maintain it. In this ship, place it at the marked location on deck B2.
So Core Modules, this up here is the main selection point, and then down here are the sub-selections. So we're going to go to Core Modules, Computer, and we have our standard computer.
Please select the computer. It doesn't require someone staying in it full time for the ship to operate. This means that you can send one of the bridge crew to maintain the computer core as well. Please select the Octagal engine from the Main Engine tab. You can only build an engine room next to yellow areas. Please build it at the highlighted location on deck B1. Change the deck by using the page down or number 1 key. Please switch to Berthing and select Pilot Quarters Small, then place 2 units at the recommended locations on deck B2. You'll notice that the crew count as well as the air and water supply are being updated. The engine room needs to be supplied by fuel tanks. Please select the small fuel tank from the storage panel and build 2 tanks at the recommended locations on deck B1. In the objectives panel, you'll see the updated fuel supply for the ship. Please switch to Berthing and select Tech Quarters Small and place 2 of them in the recommended locations. Some crew management missions require quick access of technicians to the engine room, therefore it's a benefit to place their quarters close to it. Please place another set of 2 Tech Quarters Small at the other side of the ship. You'll now have 4 technicians available when performing a mission. Build a small air tank by selecting Storage and Air and place it in the marked location on deck B2. As you can see from the Objectives and Message panel, the air tank is not enough to supply the current crew count for the required mission duration. Please place another tank at the indicated location. The decks of the ship need to be connected. Select the stairway from the Infrastructure and Connections tab and place it at the highlighted area on deck B1. You can choose if you want to build down from deck B2 or up from deck B1 by clicking on the arrows at the right side of the stairway icon in the Build menu. If a lift or a stairway cannot be built up or down because it would intersect with a room or lead into space, it's shown in red.
As you can see, you build a stairway either on the top floor or the bottom floor, and it does put it on both floors. And obviously, if you're going to have the stairs going up, you would place it on the bottom floor. If you're going to have it going down, you would place it on the top floor.
You'll also need water tanks to supply the crew for the entire mission duration. Select the small water tank from Storage and Water and place one now on the marked location on deck B2. Now place another one at the other side of the stairway to fulfill the objectives. Take a moment to maximize the message panel to see what you still need to do. As you can see, the ship is still in need of life support, water treatment, EEVs and hatches, as well as energy and cooling and supply lines. Orange messages are optional tasks. You can find life support under Health. Construct one at the indicated location on Deck B2. Water treatment can be found in the life support category. Construct the water treatment at the indicated location on Deck B2. Water treatment needs medical personnel to operate properly. The objectives panel has been updated to show the new crew requirements. Please select the berthing category and build one medic quarters small at the indicated location. All rooms are still without a power supply. Please select a small nuclear generator from the Power tab and build it at the marked location on Deck B2. When a generator is selected, you can see how much power a single generator has left at the bottom right.
So 300 out of 300 available because we haven't hooked it up to anything yet.
Please select the water treatment. The red lightning icon signifies a room without a power supply. You can see how much power is needed in the room information. Please select the power generator or click on the power icon. Red squares or the lightning icon are power plugs to rooms without power. A green power plug means that the room has power. The number shows the amount of power each room needs.
So this is definitely an addition that I really enjoy from the original Let's Play, which is the addition of the numbers next to the power indicator. So you're having to step out and individually access each system to figure out how much power it is, or how much power it takes.
To place power lines, left-click and set start and end points of a power line. Left-click again on an already built node or right-click anywhere to stop connecting. Right-click to erase nodes. Please connect all the rooms to your power grid. Every node costs 10 bitcoins and is a source of malfunctions during missions, so place them wisely. Nodes that are not within rooms or corridors will not be accessible for repairs. There will not be enough power for all the rooms for now. The small generator is not enough to power all the rooms on this stack. Please place another one at the marked location and connect it to the power grid. The lower deck needs power as well. Please place another small generator right next to the engine room and connect all the rooms on this deck to the power grid. Some rooms, like the engine room and the generator rooms, need cooling. This is indicated by a red temperature icon. Please build a small cooling unit from the Cooling tab at the highlighted areas on Deck B1 to accommodate this. This room type can only be built adjacent to the hull. The cooling generator is marked with red arrows. This means that these rooms still need to be sealed by an outer hatch. Select the cooling hatch from the Infrastructure/Hatches tab and build it next to the cooling generator at the marked location. Please select the engine room. You can see how much cooling is needed at the right side of the room information panel. Please select the cooling unit or click on the temperature icon. Connect the cooling units and the hatches to the power grid, then select the cooling unit or click on the cooling unit to activate the draw tool. You can see how much cooling a single generator has left in the room information panel at the bottom right.
So we had just enough coolant to cool the engine, but not enough to cool this right here.
Use the left mouse button to connect the cooling unit to the engine room. Red squares signify a room without cooling. Blue squares are rooms already supplied. There will not be enough cooling for every room. If the grid turns white, it means that the supply is depleted. The engine room requires all the cooling the small cooling unit provides. To be able to cool the power generator as well, please place another cooling unit at the indicated spot. Place a cooling hatch to seal the newly built cooling unit, then connect the new rooms to the power and cooling grid. Now select one of the tanks on deck B1 or the fuel grid icon and construct the pipe leading from the tanks to the engine room. You'll need to connect both tanks to satisfy the engine room's fuel demand. If the lines turn white, this means that the connected supply is depleted.
So basically each of these is worth 50 in the fuel, and by connecting both of them to the engine, which takes 100, the engine is being supplied with fuel, but these fuel tanks are no longer available for any other system which may need fuel, for like a larger craft, for example.
Selecting the air tank or clicking the air grid button, and then constructing the tubes to connect to the life support. Please connect the water tank to the water treatment facility by selecting the water tank or clicking the water grid icon and laying the pipes to water treatment. You can view all power lines and tubes of this deck at the same time by pressing and holding tab.
So as you can see, we hit the tab button, and now we see everything. And what we essentially just did, here's the life support system. We hit life support up to the crew areas. And then we took the water treatment and hooked the water treatment pipe up to these areas. So here's where the water tank is for them to essentially hold the water treatment, to make sure it's clean and probably to recycle things like urine. And then here is the air tank, which you need the life support system, which then supplies the air tank for the ship.
Life support, computer, and generators on deck B2 still need cooling. Please place a cooling unit at the marked location, seal with a cooling hatch, and connect to the power and cooling grid. Open the Health and Emergency category. Select and place the sickbay at the recommended location on deck B1 and connect it to the power grid. Press S or open the File drop-down menu to save the current blueprint. Enter a name you like and hit Save. You can also enter a description to be able to better identify the blueprint later. Select the Small Armory from Berthing and Equipment and place it at the marked location on deck B2, then connect it to the power grid. Now you need to connect all the rooms on the ship so the crew can move around and access them. First, select a hatch from Infrastructure and Hatches and build 2 hatches on the highlighted locations on Deck B2. Now select a Corridor 1 segment from Infrastructure and Corridors and place it between the hatches. You can connect distances of 2 grid tiles more effectively by using the large hatch. Select it from Infrastructure and Hatches and place it between the stairway and the armory. You might need to rotate the hatch to fit. Large hatches can only be attached to rooms or corridors in one direction. Please place enough hatches to connect every room on the ship. You can keep track of which rooms are still not connected by watching out for the bright red borders. Take a quick look at the messages bar up top. You can now see that the ship needs an exit hatch. The crew has to be able to enter or leave the ship somewhere. It can be placed anywhere along the hull, preferably at the marked location next to the engine room on Deck B1. If you haven't already,
the exit hatch.
The power grid to supply all the new hatches. There won't be enough power on Deck B1. The small power generator does not produce enough power to supply all rooms and hatches on Deck B1. Please place another small nuclear generator at the marked location next to the engine room and connect it with power and cooling. Also, create a hatch to connect the generator with the engine room. In case of an emergency where the crew has to abandon the ship, there needs to be enough emergency escape vehicles for the entire crew. Select Health, then Emergency, and place 2 EEVs at the marked locations on Deck B1 and connect them with hatches. The EEVs don't need to be connected to the ship's power grid, but the hatches do. The blueprint is now ready for simulation. All requirements are fulfilled and the ship is fully functional. You can create a ship class by clicking on Prepare for Simulation in the File drop-down menu. After a new window checks the integrity of your design, you can save the blueprint as a ship class by clicking on Save Ship Class.
Alright, I believe I followed the tutorial to the letter. If I missed something, it's just I am not a super detailed person, though I do try and enjoy these kind of games, but let's see if we can figure it out. So, missing a cooling line. Each of these looks like they're being cooled. That does not, so there we go. That was my fault. So I missed something in the tutorial, but if you look, we were able to fix ourselves here, which is good.
Thank you for using the basic design tutorial. Please continue to crew management by clicking on Test and Crew Management.
Alright, let's go back up. Right now we're all green. So obviously I probably made a same or similar mistake in the last video. Now that we're all green, our ship should be good to go. And what I didn't do last time, which I should have done, was check the status board. And away we go. So, prepare simulation. I'm going to save your blueprint first. Yes, we do. Apologies for the abrupt edit. I'm sure I did something out of order or wrong and caused the crash. So we'll hopefully get it right this time. Once again, this is an alpha, so this kind of thing is to be expected. So let's be very specific that we are following the instructions. So first we will prepare for simulation. Hold on. So let's prepare for simulation in the drop-down menu. Yes. Save ship class. And we'll save this as actually version 4. I tried saving it as version 3 earlier and loading it up, and that caused a problem. So I'm just going to call this version 4. And we'll call it version 4.
The blueprint is now ready for simulation. All requirements are fulfilled and the ship is fully functional. Thank you for using the basic design tutorial. Please continue to crew management by clicking on Test and Crew Management.
So we'll go ahead and save again. And this is what keeps causing the problem. And it did the same thing if I said no. So I'm going to play with this. When we get to the next screen, we are probably going to be on the actual taking our design to the simulation. I have tried hitting the no button and yes button, and the error message keeps popping up, but did not do so the first time. So probably a note for the developers, and I'll do a workaround, and when we cut back, it'll be once again on the actual mission screen. Alright, so we have arrived at the crew management tutorial. I just went straight here. I do know you can get there from the other tutorial, but it's acting up on me. What I am going to do is see if we can load up our blueprint. Shuttle version 3 was the blueprint we just designed. And this is the one that checked out all green across the board. So hopefully it'll work and let us add crew and stuff. We'll find out. I had issues with this yesterday. Alright.
First, you'll learn how to test your ship and crew in the standard operation mission, learning basic interface functionality and familiarizing yourself with unit commands. If you started this tutorial out of context and there's no ship name displayed next to ship class, you'll first need to load sample ship class using the file menu in the top left corner. On the left side of the screen, you can see a list of missions your ship can perform in. SOP missions test the standard operation of the ship, ERS missions simulate different kinds of emergencies, and HEP missions test encounters with hostile forces. Please select the standard operation mission.
We've selected standard operation.
On the upper right side of the screen, you can set the number of crew members you want the ship to have. Reducing the crew can give you additional points as it saves money. This tutorial needs all crew members available, so please leave it as is.
Alright, for some reason, and as I said, we were all green when we transferred that ship or saved that ship. So they might need to fix something here so that either we can change it or it transfers over with the full crew. So since we can't do that, we'll go ahead and take the sample ship per the recommendation. Now we have our crew.
The objectives show you what the mission will be about. Most missions have a time limit that you'll need to keep in mind. In the lower right, you can see an overview of the points you'll get for each mission. Please start the mission now by clicking on the button in the lower right corner. The information panel in the upper left corner shows you how far mission time has progressed, how good your rating is so far, and why. In the top right corner, you're getting information about the name of your current mission, mission time, damage to the ship, the surplus energy available, and the available air and water supply. Below that, you can see how many rooms are in operation, how many are damaged or destroyed. You can also see how many crew members are healthy, injured, or dead. At the beginning, the mission is not yet started, but you can still look at all the decks and make plans ahead. Please start the mission now. You can pause the mission at any time by pressing P. It's also possible to speed up or slow down simulation speed by clicking plus or minus in the upper right corner or using the F10 or F11 keys. Please pause the game now. Please select the small bridge on deck B2. The room's information panel at the bottom shows information about the crew type and number needed for operation and when the next maintenance is due. This bridge needs a permanent crew of 2 pilots. The green icon above the room warns you that this room is currently losing efficiency. Rooms have to be checked regularly or manned permanently to avoid malfunctions. A green icon shows you that pilots are needed, a blue icon needs technicians, white is for medics, and red is for soldiers. Please select the life support. For this room to stay 100% efficient, 1 technician needs to be present every 2 minutes and 40 seconds. You can select single crew members by left-clicking on their flag and adding additional units by holding Shift while clicking. You can also hold and drag the left mouse button to select multiple units or double-click on a unit to select all crew members with the same profession. Please select all units on this deck. For many missions, it's best to equip crew members with suits to be able to survive longer. However, they move much slower when equipped with suits. With all units selected, click and hold the right mouse button and use the action menu to select Put on Suit. Please repeat this process for all other units on the ship. Unpause the game to let them put on their suits.
I can't do that, sir. I cannot reply, sir. I can't do that, sir.
I've got everybody selected, holding the right mouse button, and I've got the heal option and the extinguish option. I did play with this earlier and it still didn't pop up. So I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong or something that's not programmed yet. Yeah, I'm trying to select over here.
I cannot reply, sir.
And here. And I'm following the instructions.
I can't do that, sir.
If anyone notices something I'm doing wrong and how to fix it, please let me know. Let me go back.
You can select single crew members by left-clicking on their... For many missions, it's best to equip crew members with suits to be able to survive longer. However, they move much slower when equipped with suits. With all units selected,
I'm going to move on.
You give move orders by clicking with the right mouse button. Morale has a big influence on movement speed. Also, units will move fastest in corridors and slowest in rooms that are damaged or without power. Please select the pilots and send them to the bridge, then pause the game again.
There we go. Okay, I guess I had to put on the right room.
Go.
Okay.
The bridge and the computer room both need to be maintained by pilots. Please create a route for one of the pilots between these 2 rooms by holding Control and clicking the right mouse button. You can add waypoints later. Move them by clicking and dragging with the left mouse button, delete or change them by clicking and holding the right mouse button on a waypoint.
Roger that.
Alright, so that's how you make the routes. Hold the right mouse button and remove. So, not too complicated once you kind of know what you're doing. question is. I think there's one under there, but...
Move out. Go. Get out of here. Eyes and ears. Roger that. Roger that.
So what I'm doing is just kind of playing around with a little bit. Apologize. So we've got one route here, hold control, and another one there, and there we go. We should be good to go now. And go ahead and pause again.
When creating the waypoint for the bridge, or after it has been created, click and hold the right mouse button on the waypoint to make use of the action menu and place a wait waypoint. You can set a time of about 10 seconds by moving the mouse up or down. The further you move it away, the higher or lower the time. The bridge needs to regain efficiency after the pilot has been away for a while.
Alright, so click on it, hit the wait button.
Go.
There you go. So all you do is you don't click on it, you just pull it up and down. So you kind of understand that it's pretty easy to use. I would say it's not necessarily fully intuitive because you kind of want to click on it, but it's fine.
Please select 3 of the technicians and create a group by pressing Control and any number key between 1 and 9. Groups can be removed by pressing Control and 0. Grouped crew members will wait for each other at waypoints. Select a group by pressing Shift and a number key. Mechanical malfunctions occur when the room is low on efficiency. They slowly damage and destroy the room over time if not removed. Send a technician close to the malfunction in one of the fuel tanks to repair it.
Go. Eyes and ears.
You can look up any computer message by opening the message log at the top. You can also switch to the relevant deck by clicking on each message. Electrical malfunctions occur when the room is low on efficiency. They'll disconnect a power line if not removed quickly. Send a technician close to the malfunction in the sickbay to deal with it.
Eyes and ears.
Fires break out when rooms are not cooled properly. For training, a fire has been started in one of the fuel tanks. You can extinguish it by standing close to it, but the unit will take damage from the heat and smoke. Suits are helpful to avoid injury. The best units to combat fire are military units, but you can use all professions.
On command. Move out.
If his condition is below 50%, he'll slowly bleed to death. You either need to get him into sickbay or use the medic's healing ability to stabilize him at 50%. Move the medic right next to the technician to stabilize him. A white arrow above the medic shows that he's currently healing a crew member.
Alright, let's find the medic, which I think is back
Let's go
two.
ahead.
Pretty sure this is it. I think. Nurse, yep. Okay, so that is the medic. Them down to technician's room. Hopefully they'll make it in time.
Shuts down. One
Let's
of your
go ahead
technicians
and-
is injured. If his condition is below 50%, he'll slowly bleed to death. When a room is damaged over 50%, it shuts down. The power button flickers and cannot be activated as long as the room is not repaired. Just send some technicians into the sickbay to repair it and bring it back online. A green arrow above the technician shows that he's currently repairing a room.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it here and kind of let them do their thing. As you can see, the medic's come down here to heal this guy. They're fighting the fire, and he is moving very slow and hopefully not dying. His health is going down for some reason. Oh, is he moving without life support somewhere? I wonder. Does the other two seem okay?
Go, move it.
Alright, well, let's try that again. So let's send him up to repair. As we can see, putting on a suit is pretty important when moving through, I guess, certain areas of the ship. I don't know why this area didn't have life support, but it didn't. Once again, this is meant to be an introductory to the game, so I apologize if it's not getting at every nuts and bolts. This Let's Play is specifically designed for people taking a first look and want a serious look at the game, as opposed to the other Let's Play, which was serious, but I tried to also make it entertaining as well. I do like the little pictures of the guys, though.
You can turn on or
He's healing.
off any room by using its power button at the bottom right. In the standard operation mission, all core modules, bridge, computer, life support, and engine room need to be running permanently.
I'm guessing it's running. No. Oh, we must still need to repair it. Okay, he must have just repaired the electric outlet. So let's get them repairing that.
Let's get out of here.
Oh my word. Are you gonna put your suit on?
Acknowledged.
Oh, does he have to go to his room? Oh, I guess he's gotta be in his room to put his suit on. So let's try and get the medic over here to heal this guy if we can.
Oh, I'm here.
Before he bleeds it, or maybe he's bleeding to death just because. I'll have to relook at that later. I don't know what caused him to have problems.
Hatches can be locked and unlocked by clicking and holding the left mouse button when over a hatch. Holding a bit longer and moving the mouse up or down opens a menu where you can lock or unlock all hatches at once.
Moving here. Going on.
Using technicians or soldiers, hatches can also be welded shut or cut open. Click and hold the right mouse button when over a hatch to use the action menu for it. Please remove all personnel from any water tank before continuing to the next step.
Oh, it's the fuel tanks. I gotta remember where I put the water tanks. There's water treatment. I believe the water tanks are up here. Yep, yes they were.
All rooms that are not sealed off, displayed in yellow. It'll drain your air supply, but it also takes oxygen away from any ongoing fires. Close all the hatches to the affected room and turn off its power. You can see that this will stop the air loss. To repair the hull breach, send one of your technicians to the breach. Be careful, though, not to send him too close as long as there's air flowing, or he'll get sucked out into space.
Oh, I see. Okay, so if you just hold the mouse button, it'll close or open the door. If you hold it and click an icon, it closes or opens all doors. Okay, now we're gonna turn off its power. That'll cut off the air going in there, so there's no airflow. That makes sense. There's no air that's gonna suck you out into space. So let's select one of our technicians, or more than one, but we'll just do one for right now. Is this room still on? Oh, it's back on. There we go. Sick bay is back online. Now let's send homeboy up here. He does have a suit on, I'm pretty sure. I wish there was a way that it would kind of show you if he had a suit on. I guess if it's in... Oh, we don't want to breach it, right?
I cannot comply, sir.
Okay, not too close as long as there's air going, so we'll send him in.
I'm
put on suit. I thought he already had on his suit.
I cannot do that, sir.
Maybe he already does. I hope so. Because otherwise he's in a bit of trouble.
That, I can't do that, sir. I can't do that, sir.
Don't get sucked out. Oh, okay.
I can't do that, sir.
Alright, I'm kind of confused.
I cannot comply, sir.
Did he just get sucked out into space? Well, I think we just lost Technician 1. Okie dokie.
I cannot comply, sir.
Technician 2. Let's give this a go.
Moving on.
Alright. I hope he's got a suit on. Get away from there. Get back. There's no air flowing. I mean, I'm not exactly well, adios. Sayonara to that technician. Alright, can you please put your bloody suit on? I would appreciate that. No. Oh, they didn't have their suit. Okay, well, they didn't have their suits on. I guess they gotta be. But this guy's got his suits on. Well, thank you. Well, they revived him for me. Alright, so apparently those two did not have their suits. I thought they did, but they did not. So it looks like you can only change suits inside your room. And that guy's on them. As you can see, though, at least he's doing his patrol. There he's going. Homeboy outside's on the radio, apparently suffocating to death. Alright, so he's got his suit on. The other two, I could have sworn I told them to put suits on, but I guess they have to do it in their quarters. Lesson learned. So, learn that mistake from me and don't do it yourself. Apologize, I'm just not going to redo the entire video because of that. Okay, and he should be good to go now. Turn power back on. And I guess in mission. Oh, nope, Tori, there you go. I was like, where'd the Tori go? Okay.
Check for all the rooms that need maintenance by technicians, and then create a route with your 3-man group to cover all of them before returning to the bridge. For the waypoint at the engine room, use the action wait to let them remain there for at least 10 seconds so that the efficiency can get back up before they leave again for another patrol.
Alright, and then select wait. At least 10. Alright. Maintenance needed here. Wait, we'll do 5. Alright, for this Let's Play, I'm not going to go through every single one just because there's no need to. But essentially what they're saying is you need to know which rooms need maintenance, which is going to be over here. Permanent, I guess you need to have somebody permanent. Either you need to have somebody permanently in there or it's okay permanently, I guess. One of the two. I'm not entirely sure. But you basically use the control function to create waypoints across the bridge. Once you're at that maintenance section, you're going to want to keep them there, so if it needs maintenance every 0 seconds to keep efficiency up, we'll want to keep them there. You know, right now it's guesstimate, to be honest. I couldn't tell you how long you'd want to keep these guys here. That'll come with, you know, somebody smarter than me can figure that out and make a Let's Play on it. We'll put it that way. And so once you got them doing a patrol, that way you don't have to micromanage them all the time and they can maintain the equipment.
If you send one of your crew members away on some errand, the rest of the group will wait for him at the next waypoint. If the crew member has completed his temporary task, select Return to Patrol from the action menu.
Right here, Return to Patrol. If they were off the patrol.
All penalties and mission time have been reset. After you manage to run the ship for 10 minutes without any of the core modules failing, bridge, computer, engine room, water treatment, and life support, this mission will be completed. If you want to skip ahead to the end, click Next. Please
That's all we're going to do.
rating for this mission to the ship class file. The on or off status of each room will be saved, as well as the position and equipment of each crew member. If you'd like to do better, you can hit Retry. Select Menu to return to Mission Selection now.
So after each mission, you essentially prove it being effective, ineffective, crew size. I guess the smaller the crew, you get more points, but obviously you're going to have other issues, injuries. We did have casualties, but they gave them back to us. Morale, we didn't take good care of our crew, I guess. We get an overall score of 7 points, and this is just an SOP run. So I would imagine that you get more points depending on the mission. But we're not going to go through the whole mission. Save the no, we're not going to save the current mission rating. And I'm going to call that the end to this Let's Play. So if you have stuck throughout this video, and especially if you've been through 2 or all 3 of them, thank you. I appreciate it. For those of you who have provided feedback, thank you. I don't mind negative feedback. I appreciate it as long as it's done constructively and in a professional manner. And it's why this video was made. So I hope you do enjoy it. I hope this is more along the lines of what's been expected by at least some audience members. I try my best to keep things as entertaining as possible because I personally don't enjoy dry Let's Plays. But I appreciate that some people, this is what they were looking for, and I want to provide different things for different audience members. And if somebody specifically makes a request to have a more professional video or just straightforward video, ask and ye shall receive. Hopefully this met what you were looking for. If not, let me know, and heck, I'll give it another go. Why not? Without further ado, back out.